Hey everybody, it's Paranormasight, the 7 Mysteries of Honjo. And Swissy's here right now.
Who the
Boko,
fuck is Hanjo?
I don't know, but he's got 7 very mysterious mysteries about him. So let me go switch on to here. Oh no, for some reason you and Boko are like an inch above the bottom of the overlay. Weird. I don't know why I did that. So essentially the plot of this game, there's a thing called the Rite of Resurrection that requires you to collect soul dregs by using a curse to kill people. And the curses are based on like local legends in this like area. And the curses all have a curse stone and a specific condition under which you can activate the curse. So there's 3 main characters, right? Uh there is, let me see here. Nope. Nope. This guy rules though. There's this cop guy who is an inspector who works with paranormal
That's not
affairs.
Gumshoe.
No, it's Tetsuo Tsutsumi. He's an inspector that works for the paranormal division, and he's like trying to stop the curse. And the serial killer that he put away like 20 years ago got out of prison and has one of the curse stones and is threatening to kill everybody in the city. And here's his friend who is happy-go-lucky.
That's not Phoenix, right?
There is Yako, who is a high school student. She wants to bring her friend who committed suicide allegedly back
That's
from the
not
dead.
Maya Fey.
It sure isn't. And then here's her friend who is some kind of paranormal investigator person. I don't
That's
know.
not. I don't know any other characters.
And then there is, where is he? Or where is she rather? Whoa! I have not seen this motherfucker before.
Wow.
Whoa! I have not seen his face. And then there's the third lady whose son was killed by that serial killer from, or her son was kidnapped and murdered about a year ago. And she wants to bring her son back from the dead. Her thing is that she can curse anybody who has the ability, who has something that like starts a fire on them. So if you have a lighter, she can start you on fire. Tetsuo's got a thing where he can kill you if you lie to him, which he hasn't killed anyone, but like the ability to just know when people are lying to him is really good. He's also picked up 2 other curse stones at this point, so he's got 3 of them by now. And hers is I don't remember, it's the Fool's Procession. It says it right there. Which is like she plays music, and if you can hear it for 30 seconds, you die. But if you see her, the music stops.
Wild. Oh.
So if she's spotted,
so she has to be stealthy.
Yeah.
If she wants to kill.
Anyway, so right now we are her walking around town investigating stuff, if I remember right. So I'm just gonna start from the bridge. Oh, and nobody can use their curses during the day, and right, we've made it past the first night finally into daytime.
Nice. Good job.
The other curse stones in play that we know about so far are one that can kill you if you're in, like, total darkness, and one where if you turn your back on somebody, like, if you try to, like, walk away from them, they can kill you. We don't know who has those.
I cast the
yet,
darkness spell.
Yeah. And so, Mio Kurasuzu and Yako Sakazaki decided their next location to investigate. Oh. Okay. Did I do it bad? Did I pick the wrong one? What? Whatever, let's go to the cops, I guess. Tetsuo Tsutsumi, 9 a.m. Kinshibori Park. So the first time you play through this game, you play as a guy named Shogo, I think. And he has that one where if you turn your back on him, he can kill you. And the first time through, I killed everybody. And the second time through, I didn't kill anybody, and then he ended up dead. So that was the canon one where he is dead. He was killed by somebody, and he has the same, like, signs as somebody who was killed by the thing where if you turn away from him, he dies. Sorry for the wait, boss, but I managed to gather some information. Took you long enough. Think. Well, we've got ourselves quite the mess. Strange deaths popping up all over the place that may or may not have something to do with the curses. We also need to keep looking into Yoshimi and Nejima. For now, we'd better start following up on the few leads we've got. Guess I'd better see what Arya has found out. Hi, Arya. He's been up all night gathering information. Must be nice to be young and have that kind of energy, but I'm glad to have him on my side. It gave me a chance to rest up. What's up, guy? Things at the station were pretty hectic, but I managed to get some info. Let me fill you in. Thanks, the floor is yours. The serial killings. A total of 3 mysterious deaths were confirmed in the area, including the one in this park. So let's start with that one, the young man we found here. He's been identified as Shoga Okie, 25 years old, a regular old office worker who worked around here. He died of asphyxiation due to water in the lungs. He drowned. He drowned in the middle of the park? That's not possible. It's gotta be a curse we're dealing with here. About that, boss, isn't this park associated with one of those 7 mysteries, too? There's actually 9 of them, by the way. I think there's actually, like, 15 of the mysteries, but there's 9 of the curse stones. But it's called the 7 mysteries. It would be the Whispering Canal. That's right, the Whispering Canal. It does seem like there'd be a link between a canal and death by drowning, don't you think? Sharp thinking, Ario. You're starting to get the hang of this. So let's assume they're related. What's next? Before that, the body of a woman was found behind a residential complex in Kamezawa. The victim has been identified as Tawako Hayashi, 29 years old. She was an office worker who lived on her own in the area. As for the cause of death, well, yes. The entirety of her body was crushed by some kind of strong external force. So this is the one of the curse echoes that we stole last night is like was from a guy who, like, if you hear its voice, it crushes you with a big foot. So this is somebody that yeah, the Monty Python foot. So this is somebody that he killed before we got to him and took his curse stone. No murder weapon was discovered in the area, but considering the way she was found, we're looking for something large, flat, and heavy that could have crushed her in one fell swoop. Hang on, are you saying she was stepped on? Meaning, I don't remember what it was called. The foot washing mansion.
You gotta remember.
Exactly. Crushing is the foot washing mansion's modus operandi. The place the body was discovered is also known to be related to the 7 mysteries. Then is this the Namagaki's doing? Shit, I knew he'd used it. Judging by the amount of soul dregs, the victim was just a regular person, not a curse bearer. So curse bearers offer more soul dregs, and once you get it filled up, you can activate the rite of resurrection, allegedly. Guess we should report this to Paranormal Affairs. Got it. And as for the 3rd victim, he was identified as Kohei Jonochi, 32, a teacher at Komagata High. He was found in the school's courtyard. Cause of death appears to be external trauma from a fall or heavy blow. The impact crushed his arms and legs. Since he was found in the middle of the courtyard, he couldn't have fallen from the gymnasium or the main building. A teacher dying at school. And not just any school. Komagata House is one of the 7 mysteries. I don't remember. Let me look it up. Files. Let's see. I know it's not the Fool's Oh, it is the Fool's Procession. But that's the one with the music. So that's... is there another one located by the school? I don't think so. Feast of Shadows is not the same thing. Oh, no, hold on. I'm under new, that's why. So, Beckoning Light, Honji, Gardens, Midoricho. One-Sided Reed is by the bridge, Ever-Burning Lantern, and there's a couple we don't know yet. So I guess it would be the...
Fool's Procession.
Fool's Procession, then. Right, it's where the Fool's Procession is supposed to be. It's too big of a coincidence. We can't rule out the possibility that this death was also the work of a curse. I see. Either way, it seems all 3 victims can be tied to the 7 mysteries. There's probably a curse bearer at the center of it all, pulling the strings. But you've got a point. All these strange deaths do point in one direction. That's right, and Hajime's case wasn't all that different either. He also died of mysterious causes in a place connected to the 7 mysteries. This was a cop who died, like, the day before all of the shit went down. Problem is that the timing doesn't match up. He died before the curses were activated. He was like a youth corrections officer, basically, that so a couple of the kids we've talked to so far knew and liked. Could he have been hit by a different curse? One that doesn't have anything to do with the 7 mysteries? That's a thought, but if that were the case, we'd be dealing with a powerful practitioner, one who could pull off a curse like that without using a curse stone. There aren't many people in this day and age who could do something like that. Oh, really? I see. I don't know too much about that stuff. I'd be more surprised if you did. Surroundings. Forensics has finished their investigation and the body's been carried away. That said, we're still closing the park to the public, at least for the time being. This place was really giving me the creeps last night, but it looks pretty normal now with the sun out. The serial killings. Well, looking at these deaths, it seems like many of the curse bearers acted last night. But we can't rule out that there were more killings from which the bodies haven't been found. Yikes, I hadn't thought of that. But there is one silver lining. Judging by my own curse stone, it seems the curses can't be activated while the sun's out. Oh, that's great news. So basically we're safe during the daytime? Exactly. It's also likely why Nejima gave us till dusk. Ah, he must have known the curse stones couldn't be used during the day. Nejima is the serial killer from like 20 years ago or whatever that Tsutsumi put away.
Yeah.
And he gave us a call on the payphone last night and said, "Hey, I'm gonna kill everybody tomorrow. Bye."
He sounds reasonable.
I gave him a Joker voice. Either way, we got till nightfall to settle this. It's time we flushed out the other curse bearers. Mulligai says hi, Swissy, by the way. Aye, boss, let's do this. The curse bearers. At the moment, we only know the identity of 4 curse bearers, you included. Yutaro Namagaki had the foot-washing mansion, and Hideki Araishi had the ever-burning lantern. We've got both of their curse stones. And then there's Nejima, who claims he has the one-sided reed. Yeah, that about sums it up. We better figure out who the remaining 5 are, quick. How should we go about looking for them? There's no point in searching blindly without a lead. Let's focus on other things for now. Tracking down Nejima may lead us to the other curse bearers, too. Either way, he should be our top priority. He could do some real damage if we don't get him. I also want to look a little more into Yoshimi. I've got a feeling there's some connection there. Aye, boss. Sounds like we got our work cut out for us. Hajime Yoshimi. I asked around Sumita's Community Safety Bureau where the Yoshimi was stationed. It seems like he was investigating the apparent suicide of a girl named Michio Shiraishi. Yeah, I'd heard about that. He was trying to determine whether it really was a suicide, looking into the height of the building, the force of the impact, her wounds, all that. He must have suspected some kind of foul play, because he ordered a full investigation. But it had already been deemed a suicide, and his superiors told him not to go stirring things up. Huh, what was the evidence? Well, according to the report I found on his desk last night, the body was found at the foot of a building a ways away from the road. There was no evidence of a vehicular collision, so it was ruled a suicide, but he thought there was more to it. Yes, a truck or other flat-faced vehicle traveling at high speeds could have inflicted similar damage. In other words, sometimes a traffic accident can look an awful lot like a fall. So there is a chance that it wasn't a suicide. But what a terrible way to go. There were no brake marks on the road, meaning it would have been a hit and run. The vehicle would have hit her without slowing down at all. This is turning into quite the grisly case. But the vehicle couldn't have come out from a collision like that unscathed. Exactly, so I asked the Traffic Bureau to keep an eye out for any vehicles with frontal damage. But I haven't heard back from them yet. I don't think they're looking very hard. So we've got no proof. That said, if it was a traffic accident rather than a suicide, it's possible that someone silenced Yoshimi because he was on the verge of discovering the truth. That's true. You think the driver is the one who did him in? Not quite. Yoshimi had already talked to Forensic and the Traffic Bureau, right? His death wouldn't have covered things up. You're right on that. Even if the suicide was a cover-up for a hit and run, it doesn't seem like enough reason to kill a cop. Oh, that's right. Unrelated, but I got something else, too. I managed to get a hold of Michio Shiraishi's address. Yoshimi went there a bunch over the course of his investigation. Might be a good idea for us to drop by, too. Good thinking. Hopefully that'll give us some more leads. Alright, let's move on to the next topic. Talk. Hajime Yoshimi. Remember the girl Yoshimi met with the day he tied one Hitomi Okuda? Community Safety didn't have any contact information for her on hand. Not even an address? Well, they had her parents' information, but when I called, they said they hadn't heard from her in a month. Lots of family issues from the sound of it. They even said they didn't want anything to do with her anymore. That said, she still goes to school once in a while, so we might be able to find her there. Not sure we really have the time for a stakeout right now. But she could be a key witness. Can't we have Community Safety track her down for us? We can ask, but it might be tricky to get it done today. For starters, Komagata High School is closed today. Ah, because of the teacher that died. That's right. Alright, but if it's not something we can do today, we may have to forget about it. Let's move on then. Hajime Yoshimi. I got some information about Yoshimi's fiancée from the community safety. Her name is Mayu Chozawa, 27 years old. She works as a beautician in the area. Look, I even managed to get a picture of her. She sure is a beauty. But... oh boy, here it comes. But what? Community safety hasn't been able to contact her since Yoshimi died. Not by phone or at her house. In other words, no response. Dead silence. There it is. Can't things just be easy for once? It's definitely starting to look suspect. Crime of passion, perhaps? It is fairly common for people to be killed by a lover or a spouse, but Yoshimi was well liked and they'd been together for over 10 years. You never know. Things could be different behind closed doors. I guess so. But we'll have to consider the opposite scenario, too. It could be that the same person who was out for Yoshimi is after his fiancée as well. She could be in danger. You're right. Either way, she's important to the case. HQ already has people looking for her. We'll know as soon as she's found. I need a drink. And
Jesus.
to die really quick.
I guess you do.
Then die, I say to myself. Ugh. I'm okay.
Are you?
No. Fumichika
I'm
Neijima.
not okay.
HQ has mobilized a search unit for Neijima, but so far we haven't received any word. Guessing he wasn't at home or at work. About that, apparently he vacated his last known address a week ago. One moment.
Sounds like you're dying.
I just got some shit in my throat, man.
Drink your water.
Shit wizard strikes again.
I have teleported it directly into your throat. Now die.
Baghdad.
Okay. You serious? So we have no idea where he lives? I need to be into the window. It gets worse. I checked in with the factory he was working at. They told me he was only there for a month before he quit. Hold on a second. You're telling me nobody caught that? Well, I had the same thought, so I spoke with his probation officer. Turns out he'd been doing house visits and interviews, but he never bothered checking on his workplace. He also said he'd lost track of Neijima when he moved to a new place. Jeez, that's just sloppy. I heard that they're giving parole to just about anyone these days because they're running out of room in the prisons. Which also means there aren't enough probation officers to go around. Dude's probably overworked. So Neijima got to fuck up out unsupervised. God damn it. That asshole is annoyingly good at faking remorse, or insanity, whatever the situation calls for. Back when I arrested him all those years ago, just talking to him left a bad taste in my mouth. He's probably hiding under a false name. Nope. He's probably hiding under a false name, which will make it hard to track him down. That'd explain why he so brazenly made contact. That asshole. He's mocking us. Well, for now, the paperwork to circulate his name and mugshot is being filed. That's gonna take way too long. We only have until dusk. Ah. I missed. Speaking of Neijima, yeah. Did you manage to reach your daughter? It'd be best to put her into protective custody as soon as possible. Not yet. I can't reach her. They called, but she's not picking up. Wasn't home when they went to the house, either. That's not good. Does that mean she never came home? And why weren't you the one trying to reach her? Shut up. I don't have her contact info, alright? Damn, she really doesn't trust you, huh? Either way, I told her mother that it was an emergency and that we'd send an officer to find her and get her to safety. She was real reluctant, but I got her to agree. I guess that explains why you got divorced. But if you, her former father, can't find her, how the hell did Neijima do it? Former, eh? That cuts deep. Yeah, sorry, it just kind of slipped out. Anyway, I suspect it has something to do with his curse echo. Back on topic already, huh? He said his curse could kill a lot of people in a short time. It may even allow him to act from a distance. I see. The one-sided read. What was that story about again? Something about a man stalking a woman who goes insane and chops her up? Ah, right, one of the more gruesome of the 7 mysteries. As for Neijima's whereabouts, all we can do is throw more people at it till we find something. I'll check in with HQ frequently to see if they've got any updates. And that's about it. Shall we continue our investigation? We could go to Komagata High School, or to look into Hitomi Okuda, or to Michio Shiraishi's house to find out more about her. There's a lot we need to do, but not a lot we can do. This ain't looking good. We're gonna run out of time if we don't do something. Gotta keep moving. Alright. Hitomi's help. Resume. Start from location selection. So I picked the bridge and it said "and so that must have not been it, I guess.
And so...
Yako Sakazaki, 9 a.m. Ryogoku Bridge. And so, okay, yeah, so this is not it, I guess. Is it just gonna "and so" me on all of these? It's clear that that wasn't it. Try the Yasuda Gardens? I don't know if there's a specific... If there's a specific place it wants me to go, why did it give me options? Former Yasuda Gardens. This feels like it's gonna be another "and so." And so...
And so...
Because I haven't finished this one because it's not like blacked out yet. So like, let's go back home. I don't know. Tanoi. Is this gonna be an "and so"? And so, okay, so maybe I'm just not supposed to do this one yet. Alright, well, we're gonna start with "life can be tough" then, I guess. Haraway Shikima, 10 a.m. Shikima Mansion. Good morning, ma'am. How are you feeling? I'm fine. I hope you can make good progress today. How's your curse stone looking? I haven't felt anything from it since sunrise. Interesting. It's possible that its powers can only be unleashed at night then. That aside, why are you so late this morning? There are unfortunately some things that can't be investigated while the world slumbers. But I did get some
drip on this
research.
guy.
I know, right? He's rules.
What are you talking about? He's wearing a dress shirt.
This guy rules.
He
Okay.
sucks.
But I did
No,
get
listen,
some
this is a
research.
Swissy core character. I can tell you that. Maybe that's why I don't like him.
Wow.
Listen, Swissy and I have direct opposite tastes in character designs. What do you want from me? I'm not wrong.
But I did get
Listen,
some
if-
research done in what limited time I had. I gave him that
I'm
voice
just
also,
saying.
which is really good. His neck is very long. Holy shit.
Giraffe, man.
I'm just saying, if he was one more button undone, I probably wouldn't like him. But
This
he's
is the
just
perfect,
the right amount
the
of buttons
perfect
undone.
amount of button. Very well, let's talk. We may be surrounded by curses and death, but it matters little. My only concern is whether I can see my child again. By the way, there's something I wanted to talk to you about. And what's that? Our current plan is to steal a curse stone that's already absorbed soul dregs, but I'm wondering if it would suffice to not steal, but instead negotiate with a curse bearer and have them use the ride for our purposes. Oh? I mean, I suppose that would accomplish the same, but do you think it's possible? So long as we offer compensation, it may prove much easier than you'd expect. Compensation? Cash, for instance. You can exchange money for goods and services. That wouldn't be off the table for a family as rich as the Shikimas, would it? Of course, why any amount will be fine if it'd get the job done. I won't let monetary matters lead me to regrets the way it did back with the ransom. Okay, with that option on the table, let's figure out our strategy. About the curse bearers. Do you have a curse bearer with whom we can negotiate in mind? Not yet. Surprisingly, it seems the other curse bearers haven't been that proactive about collecting soul dregs. Did you see the news this morning? No, I haven't. Overnight, 3 mysterious deaths were reported in this area. They've yet to announce the identities of the bodies found, but they've been nicknamed the Honjo serial killings. It's garnered quite some attention on the streets. Oh my. Only 3? That's what I thought. Even if the victims were curse bearers, just one or two wouldn't be enough soul dregs. And for what those curse stones are capable of, a mere 3 victims seems a little on the low side. With this little activity all through the night, the curse bearers must be a cautious bunch. What's holding them back? Are we not all after the power of resurrection? There may still be some undiscovered victims, but it doesn't seem like anyone has gathered enough soul dregs yet. We might have to set up some bait to spur them into action. And then we offer them the deal. None of the curse bearers seem to be very proactive. I wonder if this situation could be what the mastermind who kicked it all off intended. Now there's an interesting theory. You think there's someone behind this all? You mentioned hearing an agonized voice telling you to kill when you first obtained the curse stone. That doesn't sound like a coincidence to me. Bait. Someone agitated the curses in this area on purpose, and they are likely after the rite of resurrection as well. So you're thinking this person is not one of the curse bearers? You got a sharp mind, ma'am. Though it may seem obvious from the mastermind to become a curse bearer and collect soul dregs if they were after the rite, this would be risky since a curse bearer they themselves would become as a target. So it'd actually be more convenient for them if the curse bearers moved less aggressively. That's right, but despite that, they've been inciting the curse bearers to commit murders. Why? Let's consider this. What if the mastermind isn't trying to collect soul dregs themselves? You mean their intention was also to steal the souls while the other curse bearers compete with each other from the start? Sitting back and observing from the sidelines is the safer course of action, which is why I figured it best for us to attempt the same strategy. So how should we do it? There's still reason to suspect the mastermind could be a curse bearer themselves. Be honest, I want to keep my distance from whoever it is. There's no telling what kind of power they might possess. Whether our aim is to negotiate or steal, we'll have to outpace the mastermind in making contact with the other curse bearers. How do you suppose we do so? At this point, all we can do is search. About the curse bearers. If there's a mastermind inciting the curse bearers to collect soul dregs, can we be sure there even is a rite of resurrection? Good question. The rite could be nothing but a myth fabricated to spur the curse bearers into action. Seeing it might be for naught, do you want to give up, ma'am? Never. Understood. After all, we'll never know the truth unless we see it for ourselves. But we'll do it without using the curses ourselves. Oh god. Briefly possessed. Nah, I didn't look at him yet. He's looking a bit tired. He must have been up all night investigating. By the way, I met a few people who seemed like potential curse bearers last night. I did some investigating into all of them, but I only managed to get detailed information on 2. You're quick. I suppose that's to be expected from an investigator extraordinaire. I appreciate the flattery. First, there's Ayame Tono, the girl we talked to before, though she isn't a curse bearer herself. She's a student attending T University of Art. She currently lives alone in an apartment near Midoricho Park. You even determined her address? You're not one to be underestimated, Mr. Investigator Extraordinaire. I called every single university with ukiyo-e in the curriculum pretending to be her parent. I went around to check on the place on the way here. Doesn't seem like she returned home last night. I'm worried she might have run into some trouble. Didn't you attempt to follow her last night? I'm embarrassed to say, but I couldn't. She shook me. I couldn't keep track of her. Here I thought you were an investigator extraordinaire. I'd like to learn more about her, but it would take some time. She is planning to steal the curse stones just like us. It's best we act carefully around her. Next is a tall man who was dressed in black. I met him near Kinshicho. He should have stood out with the way he dressed. I managed to get some good information from him. Impressive. What can I say? He works as the secretary to Hihaku Supes' chairwoman. I believe his name is Takumi Yumioka. The Hihaku Supes' headquarters and factories are both located in Honjo, right? Correct? Yes, they've been here for a while, but it's only in the past 10 years the company has shown significant growth. I remember seeing the chairwoman on the news a few years back. She seemed to be very shrewd. With the increase in sales, I'd assume she'd want her factories running at full capacity. But with the harsh restrictions against industrial waste, a lot of the factories with older equipment had to be shut down. That's right, even 10 years ago there were many complaints about chemical plants dumping waste into the river. Most companies back then were more concerned with making a profit than protecting the environment. I'd say most companies now are concerned with that.
Yeah.
I wonder what a man working for such a company would have been up to in the middle of the night. On the way here, I stopped by the company's headquarters, but they hadn't started for the day. I should have a better look later. Let's hope you will. Perhaps they're interested in seeing if the right would be beneficial to their product research into beauty and skincare? Ha! Now there's an interesting thought. Ran into one more suspicious young man last night. This one seemed to be out collecting soul dregs, right? Indeed, I couldn't get a good look at him though, and I couldn't gather enough intel to properly identify him. Well, that's a shame. This is either the teacher or the other teacher, I think. There are two teachers with sort of similar haircuts, so I can't really tell from the back. But I can make an educated guess. Oh? You know that researcher who discovered the rite of resurrection ancient text of? The one that lives near here? His name is Hideki Araishi, and the man I met was very similar in stature. Oh my, even he is involved? How awfully suspect. Considering his background, couldn't he be the one who initiated the whole affair? I think it's possible, yes. Which is why I decided to refrain from making contact with him for the time being. Safety first. Understandable. Of course, I want to learn more, but this isn't the right time to focus on him. I prefer to ascertain who else is a curse bearer. First, I'll return to Hihaku Supes to see that man in black. Their headquarters are down on South Warigasui Street. About the kidnapping. I learned something new about the criminal involved with the kidnapping. It concerns the serial killings. There was a body found at Komagata High School. The person was identified as a school teacher. His name was Kohei Jonochi. Do you think he was a curse bearer? Not sure. It's possible. But regardless, this means the two people who knew the truth about the kidnapping are both dead. Just when we were getting somewhere. It isn't enough to make me give up, of course. Still, we don't know anything about Michio Shiraishi's residence. It'd be wise to pay a visit. Understood. In addition to the 3 victims associated with the Honjo serial killings, there's Michio Shiraishi, who reportedly committed suicide, and the police officer who died at the former Yasuda Gardens. If strange deaths continue occurring like so, they're bound to inspire strange rumors. Those last two have nothing to do with the 7 mysteries, no? It's true, both occurred over a week before this accursed situation began. Still, it cannot be ruled out. It's possible that the mastermind was involved even with those killings. How? What if there were preliminary steps to awakening the 7 mysteries' curses? Can we really assume they're unrelated just because the timing doesn't match up? Or rather, the police officer's death is so baffling that it'd be easier if it were connected to these curses. The victim wasn't the type to be caught off guard easily. You seem to know a lot about this. I suppose we weren't strangers. My personal feelings might be wrapped up in this one too. I see. If you were to investigate this matter more, you might get a lead on the mastermind. You're right. If we wish to focus on the mastermind's identity, this would be a fine starting point. Might even discover more deaths related to the curses on the way. We should pay attention to today's news. Well, that's all I have to report. Shall we continue our investigation? What do you want to do? If you still can't use a curse stone, taking a walk around should be a fine place to start. Right, let's go together. I want to see what's going on for myself. In that case, I'll trust you to decide on where we should go, ma'am. Which places have stood out to me most so far? So there's Midoricho Park, there's South Warigasui Street, and there's the high school. The park, I don't remember what happened at the park, honestly. This is where the office is, I think, of the soap company. Is this one gonna hit me with an and so also?
And so...
The Hihaku Soap's headquarters are on the other side of South Warigasui Street. They were closed when I visited this morning, but it appears things are up and running now. I think a small soap-making company could grow so much in such a short time. They have factories and warehouses throughout the area now. You can see why director and now chairwoman Natsue Yamamura is called the Queen. You mentioned that Takumi works as her secretary? That's correct. You think it's possible he's acting on her orders? That's exactly my thinking. A curse bearer with both money and power could certainly look at resurrection as their next prize. Negotiating with a person of that stature may prove difficult. Oh, is there more? Business is up and running. I can see people inside the reception area. Business is okay. First, I need to confirm whether Takumi is the man I ran into last night. Then I'll be able to determine if he's a curse bearer. It'll be better if I go inside the headquarters alone. You should walk around, visit a cafe for some tea, perhaps. It'll be better you should walk around, okay? So an influential person at Hihaku Soaps is potentially a curse bearer. Richard proposed we could use money to negotiate for the curse stones, but we could hardly outbid a large corporation if it came down to it. So should I go somewhere else, I guess? He tells me he's barely slept last night, and yet he seemed to be brimming with energy. Was I too that resilient at his age? Perhaps it's what sets apart a detective from the rest. Well, I guess I just go somewhere else then. Let's go to the high school, although it is closed. What with the man who died in it.
Oh, yeah.
Here we are at Ground Zero, Komagata High School. I guess it's logical that the police has got this place shut down. The teacher's body was found here after all. It's as if the students have nowhere to go now that the school's closed. They're going to start hitting up local retailers and just sort of fucking around for hours on end.
Wait a second.
He appears to be wary of those police officers. Maybe the police really do have something against private investigators, just like in those detective novels. This place is said to be connected with the store of the Fool's Procession. I wouldn't be surprised if a curse bearer decided to turn up. However, I need to find out if that teacher was a curse bearer or not. I expect the police to be baffled since they don't know about the curses. I can ask around and see what the students have to say. Yeah, why not? Alright, I'll go ask the students about Michio. I'm back, ma'am. So what did you learn? That school kids sure love a good rumor. Was practically drowning in stories about Mr. Genochi and Michio, most of which seemed dubious at best. Not surprising. Most of what I heard was hardly worth a second thought. But there was one story that caught my attention. Oh? Some believe that Michio was the one who killed Mr. Genochi. Really? The story's got two pieces of evidence to back it up. One of them wasn't news to me. Apparently he's been mumbling that Michio was going to kill him now for some days now. A fellow teacher overheard his mumbling and told the students. And then it spread like wildfire, I suppose. Rumors that juicy don't say a secret for long. As for the other piece of evidence, a pigtailed girl in her school uniform was seen around school late last night. Go on. Although numerous people claim to have seen the girl, not one of them saw her face. Some are proposing it was Michio brought back to life, or that it was her vengeful spirit. But it's not like Michio is the only high school girl to wear pigtails. The rumors might have been made up just to fan the flames. But if it were true, I'd want to get a hold of her in order to hear her side of the kidnapping. If she's alive, that'd be ideal. There's still one more thing I should mention. I discovered where Michio lived. A student had a list of student addresses on hand. Why? What? That's an amazing find. I believe all the students actually have a copy of said list. What? Truly worries me how easy it was to obtain what should be confidential information.
Yeah?
Yeah. Imagine what would happen if that information got into the wrong hands. Well, so far it hasn't, no. Sure, let's hope it stays that way. In the meantime, it's now possible for us to visit Michio Shiraichi's house. Alright, Michio Shiraichi's house. Well, let's go. I want to go to the park, too. Midoricho Park. We're here. This is Midoricho Park. Ayame Tono lives around here. She wasn't in her apartment when I dropped by this morning. I wonder if it's worth checking again. We won't get much done standing around here. Why don't I go and check out Ayame's apartment? You don't mean to speak with her, do you? No, I'd prefer to get an idea of what she's been up to. I'd like to see whether she's been home or not, just to potentially get a trace on her movements. Then be my guest. Okay, I shouldn't be long. I'm back, ma'am. So nothing? I'm afraid so. She still hasn't returned. However, I noticed a few people who seem to be related to the police force keeping watch in the area. I don't know if they got eyes on her apartment, but they do appear to be watching the building it's in. Interesting. You've got a sharp eye to have noticed them despite being so covert. What can I say? It's part of the job. However, it meant I had to refrain from knocking on her door or looking through the windows. Wasn't able to check her electric meter or mailbox either, unfortunately. You were planning to go that far? We won't make much progress sticking around here. Fair point, let's go. Near the Shiraishi household. Ah, an alley. How did it go?
Always a good sign.
I went to visit Michio Shiraishi's family home, however. No one seemed to be there. I got no answer at the door and all the lights were out. Seems to have been empty for a while now. There was a stack of newspapers out front. Social connections run deep in working class areas like this place, so I decided to talk to the locals. Made a few nice old ladies who were kind enough to give me the scoop. Turns out the Shiraichi's reputation really went down the dumps this past year. Is that so? I'll give you the quick summary. They moved here about 3 years ago. Their previous residence was in a better part of town. Michio's father died in a car accident, leaving behind just the two of them. Michio's mom, Toshiko, now a single mother, located here. At first, they got along with their neighbors, many of which were in similar situations, helping and being helped in turn. So far, so good. What happened? Well, as I said, their reputation began to go downhill about a year ago. A man recognized that Toshio's common-law husband had moved into the household. His name was apparently Kankichiro Iwai. Neighborhood gossip is something else. Somehow everyone knew his name. So what of this Iwai character? He was apparently a vulgar fellow with a criminal record. He was prone to violent outbursts. The neighbors often heard screams and shouting coming from the home. The neighbors took particular notice of Toshiko's screams pleading with him not to hit Michio. That's terrible. As if that wasn't unsettling enough, every night the neighbors also began to hear an eerie chanting. Through this, the Shiraishi's standing in the neighborhood plummeted rapidly. Need a drink? Toshiko was often seen covered in bruises and wounds. Bruises and wounds. Bubba-da-ba. She stopped responding to her neighbors. She would just turn the other way when greeted. They kept their storm shutters closed even during the day and effectively shut themselves away from the entire community. That sounds horrible. Why didn't the police step in and do something? Unfortunately, under our current laws, the police aren't allowed to get involved with domestic disputes. That's awful. And then Michio reportedly killed herself. Things only got worse with Iwai, and Toshiko was admitted to the hospital for physical and mental abuse. Ever since, Iwai hasn't returned to the home. Many locals expressed sympathy for Michio's circumstances, but just as many of them were fed up with the Shiraishis entirely and seemed relieved that things finally quieted down again. It seems that they were still considered outsiders even after 3 years of living here. I don't understand it. Why would Toshiko have gotten involved with such a brutish good-for-nothing in the first place? I've heard many stories where one partner's personality does... My tongue, this drawl. Personality does a complete turn after entering a relationship. After her first husband's death, Toshiko's financial situation had also taken a turn for the worse. She was determined to send her daughter to a good high school. It's possible she fell victim to sweet promises. Life can be tough, I suppose. You don't seem moved by the story, ma'am. That's fine. People have all kinds of stories. Honcho's Ace Detective. Achievement unlocked. But the Shiraichi certainly hadn't lucked out with theirs, bringing such a violent man into it. Okay, is that all we got here? Shiraishis were dealt with a tough hand. I can't imagine what it was like. Could it be the girl was forced by her circumstances to take part in the kidnapping? It's a bit quiet over here. It is a residential area after all. All these run-down row houses really scream working class, don't they? This neighborhood is poor as fuck. Oh, that reminds me. I'm supposed to be looking for, like, chicken. There's, like, birds. There's stickers of birds. There's stickers of birds you can find.
I just realized his name is Richter. Hell yeah.
Richter Kai. I've never liked these messy and cluttered back streets. They give me jitters every time. It's reassuring to have someone as strong and tall as Richter accompanying me. He looks so unfazed. I suppose a detective is used to this kind of thing, always investigating and chasing criminals. I wouldn't be cut out for it. Alright, well, if that's all we can do here... We didn't get anything at the high school. We didn't get anything at the park. Although, real quick, I am going to stop back by both of these places just to see if there's any birds around. Scum got a high school. I guess they haven't been in any developments. Yes, I know where it is. The news has attracted a bunch of curious onlookers, huh? That works in our favor. The more people around, the better we can blend in. Although we don't look like shadowy ghost people, so unfortunately. It seems the officers are still inspecting the scene. Entry has been strictly prohibited. Alright, no stickers here. Let's go. Back to the park. Well, here, this is the park. Here we are at the park. Alright, nothing there.
Here I am in my garage.
Here I am in my garage. Just got this new Lamborghini here. Alright, do you want to go to the place? It'd be better if I go inside the headquarters alone. You should walk around, visit a cafe for some tea, perhaps. Back in the Edo period, the canal known as the South Waragasui ran through this area, but it's been turned into a major road. It's a bit away from Kinshicho Station or Ryogoku Station, though it's still considered a nice area. The stores of the Ever-Burning Lantern and the Foot-Washing Mansion both took place around here. One of the bodies discovered this morning was found by this road as well. This is quite a lively area, huh? I suppose you could call it somewhat of a city center. Is that all you got? Am I supposed to be looking for a cafe or something? I don't see one. I'm going to go in. It may be a while, so feel free to find somewhere to kill time. Okay, good luck in there. And then he never came back. Now there he is. Sorry to keep you waiting. How did it go? I'll fast forward to the conclusion. I met with Takumi. There's no doubt he's the same man I saw last night. But it doesn't seem like he's a curse bearer. But that doesn't mean he has no connections to the recent curses. He knew about the 7 mysteries. He even guessed we have a curse stone of our own. Excuse me? I tried to approach Takumi about a fallen item I ran into him last night. However... You said your name was Richter, correct? I have a favor I'd like to ask of you. I'm hoping you would hand over the curse stone in your possession. Curse stone? What are you on about? There's no need to play dumb with me. In fact, there's no time for it. I had all the same reason you did to think you were a curse bearer last night. And your arrival here only confirms it. You are a curse bearer, no? You're right, we lack time. I'll confess I am a curse bearer. I possess the curse stone of the Haunting Clappers. I'm glad to hear the truth. Finally, this conversation is worthwhile. I don't even think that's the one she has. Oh, no, wait, it is. Haunting Clappers is the fire-based one. It is a dangerous item you hold. Give it to me. My company will take responsibility to dispose of it. I didn't know the soap
Valid.
business specialized in scrubbing curses clean. It is the prerogative of Miss Yamamori. Is that so? Assuming you've obtained the curse, you understand the power it involves, no? Miss Yamamori possesses supernatural powers akin to those of a god. She also has a deep love for this land, having transformed it from the pile of dirt it once was to the home of our headquarters. She cannot stomach the fact that it's now the site of these curses run rampant. So you're telling me the Queen of Hihaku is a real-life witch? She wouldn't appreciate being called that, mind you. There's a sorcerer by the name of Suigen Gamyodo who's gallantly working behind the scenes, exorcising spirits and the like. I think we've heard that name before?
Yeah, he mentioned it in the first time we talked to him.
Oh, right, when we were pretty sure he was full of shit. That's right. Go on. That being so, there have already been instances of the dead coming back to life. Do you understand the urgency of this matter? These are curses we're speaking of, tools which are used by wicked beings to possess people. The rite of resurrection is nothing but a fabrication meant to seduce the curse bearers into unspeakable action. If you truly understand what I'm talking about, you must hand over that curse stone at once. Very interesting. With that said, just how many curse stones have you acquired so far? If what you tell me is true, surely the company would have launched a large-scale search by now. We have 6. That is a lie.
Fucking lie.
That is a lie, because we know where 5 of them are, and there are only 9. 6? Whoa, I can rest at ease then. Here I thought I was at risk of being cursed. Seems we are on the same page. If that is the case, you should hand over your curse stone immediately. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's not actually in my possession at the moment. Consider its importance, I've been keeping it in hiding. Really now? Then I'll accompany you while you retrieve it. I'm sorry, but I've got something important to attend to. But I promise I'll return with it later. Very well. Then you won't refuse to provide your address and telephone number, I presume. How prudent of you. I'll oblige. I gave him your phone number and telephone. And that's how it went. So they aren't after the right after all? I wouldn't be so quick to trust him. Oh? I believe we're dealing with a master in deception. He may well have made up a story to convince us to part ways with our stone.
Like the part where he obviously lied about how many he had.
I think he was lying about having procured 6 curse stones as well. Like, really? 6? That's excessive. Yeah, that's a lot. We know that's a lie because we have 6 of them collectively, I think. She has 1, the high school girl has 1, and the cop has 3. Okay, so that's 5. But, like...
Still, that would make
there's
11.
no fucking way, yeah. Oh, now
it's literally impossible unless you've made more to qualify for the other few curses that don't have stones or whatever.
Right. The company is plotting something. I wonder what they mean to do with the cursed stones. Seem rather desperate to get a hold of ours, despite us not having collected any soul dregs. Perhaps the people at Hihaku are the masterminds behind the curses being unleashed. Because the chairwoman's a witch? I wonder about that, too. If she were really that powerful, would her secretary have divulged that information so casually? Takumi was either making it up as he went, or he's trying to spread a rumor. What purpose would he do that? Recently, people have been caught up about the occult more than ever. If word spreads that Hihaku's chairwoman has godlike powers, she could very well benefit socially and politically from that mystique. That's unsettling.
It is.
By the way, there's one more thing of interest I heard while in the company's reception lobby. And what's that? People were discussing whether one of the bodies found this morning was that of a Hihaku employee. Shogo was an employee at this place. Really? So long as the officials haven't revealed the identity, it all amounts to no more than speculation, though. Despite that, I have reason to believe Hihaku Supes is deeply involved with the 7 mysteries. At the very least, I can assure you I've gathered that much. The more we know, the better our negotiations will go. Alright, well, what else do we have to do? In the meantime, we should be off somewhere else. How interesting the Queen of Hihaku, or the witch, whatever she is trying to get her hands on the Rite of Resurrection. It's like some kind of dark fairy tale. Regardless of what is or isn't true, we must stay one step ahead. Okay, well, we've done everything there is to do there. Is there anything new at the park? Here we are at the park once more. Why do you keep bringing me here? This place is connected with the story of the Taiko of Suguru. Not only that, Katsushika Hokusai's home was also in this area. That might be why Aomi chose to live here. Oh, right. One of the girls, the girl that they were talking about last night, told us that she wants to bring that, the big wave, the famous big wave painting.
The Great Wave is the name of the of the woodblock painting.
Yeah.
She wants to bring back that artist from the dead. I think at
He's
this
also
point he's been dead for a while.
Yeah, several hundred years. He's also the guy that invented tentacle porn.
Oh.
If you've seen the old woodblock painting of the woman and the octopus, that's also him.
Hmm.
When I was talking about the Dream of the Fisherman's Wife, that's the name of that woodblock painting.
Ah, what a waste of time. We should move on quickly. It's always heartwarming to see children playing in the park. Richter seems to like kids. Perhaps they're on the same wavelength? What? That's kind of mean. Alright, nothing there, so I guess we go back to the school? I feel like we got information everywhere. What am I doing? It's Komagata, they haven't been in developments. Can imagine these students are uneasy after learning of the murder. It may do them well to stay home for some time, if not for fear of their safety. The police are probably too wrapped up in solving the case to be concerned about the students' mental health. I can see that. They're all dressed up for school. In another world, I might have had the chance to see my son in uniform, too. Yeah, everything's about your son, lady. It's important that society provides a safe environment for the benefit of our youth. Some school policies could use some rewriting, especially those handling the students' personal information. That's right. I don't want a student being kidnapped on their way back home ever again. I expect criminals to grow more cunning as time passes. There may be times when the authorities can't keep up. That's where outlaws such as myself come in. What's this about? Actually, just forget I said anything. That was kind of a weird thing for me to say. Don't worry about it, it's fine. Alright, nothing else here. Surroundings. Okay, nothing. Think? No. Alright, well then what have I not done?
Death.
I guess we come back here, see if anything's happening. I doubt anyone's still living here. Hmm? What was that zoom about? Oh, so you came here too. What is it? Oh, hey, it's the cops. Could you repeat what you know one more time for me, Richter? It's them. Crossover. Yeah. Can I still not go here? Alright, to be fair, I didn't check the last two places, so maybe it's one of these ones. Komagata Bridge. And so... Am I missing some vital information that I need? Is that what's wrong?
Maybe you're just stupid. It is possible.
The last place is the school. That's the only place left. We've been everywhere else. The school is where we came from. Like...
Then go back, you fool.
Now this is another and so.
What is the name of the thing?
This chapter?
Okay, this is
Hitomi's
what's her
hell.
name? Yako. What's the name of the chapter? Hitomi's Hell. Okay. At the end, you are prompted to choose a location to go next. Choose Komagata High School.
I did.
Also, simply exhaust the dialogues of Mio and Hitomi.
Well, it just hits me with an and so. So maybe I missed something? Yeah, it keeps hitting me with the and so. Alright, maybe... Hold on. Let me try to... Is there a someplace else? No?
Understanding what the guy says, man.
Did I not exhaust the dialogue? Because all of these just hit me with an and so. I must have not, I guess. Alright, well then I guess I'll start from this conversation and just blast through all of these. Just click, 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 click. Yeah, he died. This was a really long conversation. There was a lot of information in it. Somebody help me, forgive me. Is there like a, there's like a skip option somewhere, right? Yeah, auto.
You would think so. It's a visual novel. Guys, auto, but where's skip?
Yeah. Well, I think this is as fast as I can go. Because I don't think it would have let me progress to the next screen if I didn't have all of these. Because it won't let me talk to Mio. I have to finish talking to her first. Oh, right. Mio did an exorcism on this girl, like on the first day that she transferred here.
Wild.
And it works.
Can you hold shift? Can you hold shift?
No, it's not doing anything.
Yeah, press. Oh, that's unfortunate. Like almost every other visual novel, shift is the skip hotkey.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh no, sorry, we were at the bridge, I think, already. Did I just pick the wrong one and that fucked me up last time or something? I don't know. We're getting there. Yeah, there's the cop guy. And he told her about 2 charms or something. Class from last night. Yep. We'll go. Yep, thanks. Yep. Got a lot of information. 3 people that might be curse bearers. And all of that. See if we're looking over today. Well, then we should go to the high school, I guess. Yes? Maybe? Nah, it's just hitting me with the and so again. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. Let's just move on.
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe there's some crucial information I need to get first. Oh, maybe I need to go here with these guys first. Because they'll meet up and maybe those 2 sync up then. Let me get rid of this. I love the yeah, there they are, right there. I love the investigation music, it fucking rules. Here we are, Komagata High. Classes are suspended for the day, so the students are just kind of wandering around aimlessly. There they are. That's them. Can I not click on anything? What the hell? Do I gotta think? My A button has ceased to work, question mark? I can't click anything either. This is weird. Do I have to click on them first? clicking is also not doing anything for me. Did I break it? Have I broken it?
Try unchecking that show auto thing.
Oh, did I leave it set to auto, maybe?
No?
No?
Well, the clicking's working in there.
Yeah, clicking works in here, so why is it not working in the game? What did I do? Audio. Controls. Yeah, I mean, it's all set the way it's supposed to be, as far as I can tell. The only thing that isn't set is the voice volume, which I have turned down because one of the curses you have to... In order to avoid one of the curses, you have to turn the voice volume down so that the characters can't hear the voice of the curse. There's no voice acting in this game, so I was confused the first time I went into this menu and saw voice volume. It's because it's part of the game, which is really cool. It was really good. Why can I not click here? Why I can't move or think. Help. Help. Alright, let's just go back to the story. Try again. Maybe I can resume this now with the... Now that the cops are here, I can talk to them from here. Oh, it's not letting me pick anything. Like, none of the actual game options are working.
Try closing the game.
Yeah, let's try to reboot. I may have fucked something up somehow. It's saved, right? This game's got an autosave, right? I'm just gonna save real quick just to be sure. Okay. Now I'm stuck in this menu. Well,
what have you done?
Closing the game manually, I guess. Hold up.
Are you tabbed out?
No.
Well, no, it's still taking input, but not taking input.
We're just gonna reboot it and try again. Maybe this is the game fucking with me. It's hard to say. This is the kind of game that would fuck with you. Alright, start from location selection. Komagata High School.
Good, you're gonna have to restart the screen share, though.
I am.
This is true.
No, this is another Anso, I can tell. Anso. Okay, let's start from Fancy Sushi. Start from the high school. Tetsuo Tsutsumi. I fucking love the cop theme. It's so good. It sounds like a 90s cop show intro. Okay, now I can talk. We're good. This place isn't only connected to the case just because the students were under Yoshimi's jurisdiction. It's also the site of the Fool's Procession, and of course where that teacher was killed. Seems like a likely place to find some clues, don't you think? The students are just standing around, chatting. Guess they got nothing to do while school is closed. Is there something on my shirt? Don't tell me I stink. Ideally, we could talk to someone who's involved in the incident. Easier said than done, though. Well, we've got somebody who's kind of involved. Huh? That's... Boss, what is it? You want to talk to those girls? Ah, he probably recognizes Mio. She probably also works for Paranormal Affairs or something. I do. Yeah, I do. This is divine intervention. We were brought here for a reason. Come on, Ario. Huh? What? Hey, aren't you... You must be that high school skirting the child labor laws who I've heard so much about.
What? What?
Say that again? Sorry about that. He's with me. I think that's supposed to be Tsutsumi. Mr. Tsutsumi, if that's how you feel, maybe you should look into improving my working conditions. I'd prefer not to work for free, to be honest. Don't you worry about that. If you help us out, you can have whatever you want. Boss's treat. Wait. Really? Thank you so much. I've always wanted to go to a fancy sushi place. Ooh, yeah, like one of those places in Ginza? I've never been. Let's go. We got ourselves a deal, right, boss? These girls are at our service. Oh, hold on now. What just happened? I never said I... Sushi. Looking forward to it, boss. Wait, since when were you included? Haha, you guys are funny. You should do stand-up. Sushi, huh? Well, that'll solve the case. It's a small price to pay. I'll just expense it to Paranormal Affairs later. Usually easier to let Aria do the talking when it comes to young people, but we only have a day. It'll be quicker if I take the reins this time. But he did manage to win them over with the promise of food. Let's see how this plays out. This is one hell of a coincidence, huh? That this random girl you know is already involved with the case? Mio Kurosuzu. She's like a disciple to the Paranormal Affairs Chief. I've heard that she helps out with investigations free of charge under the guise of training. Although she's my old boss's protege, she helped me out plenty when I was in Paranormal Affairs. She may look meek, but she's got strong spirit sense, sharp instincts, and courage, plus quite the brain to back it all up. That said, I can't help but think there's some kind of darkness following her around. So, how much have you been able to figure out? Well, I know what happened around midnight last night. Someone involved in the invoked the Feast of Shadows, which boosts the power of curses, and then brought forth the 7 mysteries of Honjo. That allows even those who do not have the power to cast curses to gather soul dregs for the rite of resurrection. At least that's my hypothesis. Sounds about right so far. As I'm sure you know, there are actually 9 mysteries, not 7. When the Feast of Shadows was cast, the curse stones appeared before those who wanted the rite at the locales of the 7 mysteries. We've managed to gather 3 curse stones so far, including the one I got first, the Evergreen Beach. You got 3 already? Wow. We have the curse stone of the Fool's Procession. Well, Yako, the girl standing behind me, does. That's me, Yako, the girl standing behind Mio. She does? Is she alright? We could take it off your hands. Well, the Feast of Shadows has no effect during the day, and there's still something I want to find out. Alright, I'll leave the Fool's Procession with you two, then. Thank you. Please keep collecting the other curse stones. I'll look for a way to stop the Feast of Shadows. Okay, got it. That should make things go more smoothly. What about the other curse bearers? Have you run into any of them? Well, last night at school... You were here last night? Yes, you see... Explaining. The fan rotates. Huh. You two were using a spirit board? That's so cool! That's when you ran into the Curse Echo. I'm glad you survived the encounter. Somehow, we managed to get away without accidentally setting it off. The Curse Echo we saw took the shape of a woman missing an arm and a leg. What? A woman missing an arm and a leg? That's... I don't actually know. Hold on. Let me just fucking take a look
Would
at
it not be the one-sided thing? Because the
That's what I was
read makes
thinking.
sense.
Yeah, one-sided read makes sense.
An infamous rogue ejected him, enraged by a difference. Took now cut off arm and leg. Yep. That's the one-sided read. Oh shit, that's the one that the serial killer guy has.
Yeah.
Allegedly. The one-sided read. This is bad. Huh?
Yeah,
What's so
it's
bad
the
about that
janitor.
one? You idiot think the curse bearer of the one-sided reed is, Nejima. Fumichika Nejima. He admitted it himself. That's his curse. Oh, that's right. Wait, but if that's the case... Nejima might have been here last night. What? I mean, it's possible he was lying to us, but... What? So it must have been the janitor, because remember when we found Mio in the bad ending, she was missing a leg. And probably also an arm that we didn't notice.
They also did mention something about the janitor and them thinking they recognized him before, remember?
Right, yeah, that too. I was wondering if that was maybe a false lead, but it might have been. It's looking like that's true. This pose that Sutsumi is doing is really funny to me. He's got real think vibes.
Damn.
What? Who's Nejima? No clue. You don't need to know about that. Oh, never mind, you do need to know about that. So Nejima is trying to take advantage of the Feast of Shadows for his own nefarious purposes. Huh? He said he's going to massacre the city at sundown today? And he's trying to get your daughter, too? That's why we've been trying to find him, but to no avail. Honestly, this information has been the most useful we've gotten so far. So just to be sure, could you tell me who else was at the school last night? Well, as far as we know, there was us, Mr. Janochi, and one of our classmates, Hitomi. Don't forget old man Ashimiya. Wait, Hitomi? Do you mean Hitomi Okuda, second-year student? Well, yes, why? Boss! So she was here last night. I saw Hitomi earlier, though, and she didn't seem like a curse bearer to me. You did? Did you talk to her? Yes. Would you mind if we asked you a few questions about that? Hitomi said she didn't want to talk to the police because she was afraid she'd become a suspect. So I can't tell you anything unless you swear you won't drag her into this. Ah, I see. Don't worry, this is about a different matter. Different matter? You mean about that police officer, Mr. Yoshimi? You know about that? Did Hitomi say something about him? Yes, she did, actually. Muttering. Oh, never mind. That one's not a fast forward. We're talking about people who were at the school last night. There was one more person, though I'm not too clear on the details. There was someone else? Apparently Hitomi actually saw Mr. Jinochi getting cursed and killed last night. What? Talk about some vital information. What she said happened was blah 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 blah. Michio was the one who killed Mr. Jinochi? Dying. Are you sure it was really Michio that she saw? Well, that's what she told me. I wasn't there. That must mean there was another curse bearer here last night. Jinochi was killed by a curse, so someone had to be there whether it was Michio or not. Damn, boss, do you really think it could have been Michio's ghost? I mean, based on what we've heard, she does have plenty of reasons to be vengeful. Calm down. Just because the paranormal exists doesn't mean just anything is possible. It's still possible that Nejima was behind Jinochi's death. But what about Hitomi's story? We're getting there. About this janitor, Hashimiya, was it? How old is he? Do you know how long he's worked here? Huh? Why are you interested in him all of a sudden? I only just transferred to this school, though, so I have no idea. He's around 50 years old. He came to our school about half a year ago. No one knows what he did before, so there are all kinds of rumors about him. I see. Thanks. I think I'm starting to get a better picture of all this. Huh? Listen up. It's not uncommon for former prisoners to find work under an alias after their release. The notoriety attached to their former name can get in the way of proper rehabilitation, you see. What do you... No way! Ario, have the officers apprehend the janitor. He worked the night shift, so he might still be in the overnight room. Yes, right away. Boss, bad news. Apparently the room's been empty all morning. Sounds like they've been looking into question Ashimiya too, but they couldn't find him anywhere. No. That all but confirms it. Just one more thing to check. Are there any photos of this Ashimiya? The old man seriously hated getting his picture taken. He'd always avoid it. Ario, call an urgent search for Makoto Ashimiya. We can't let him get away. Yes, sir. I'll contact HQ right away. Oh my, I didn't expect this at all. Yeah, how could that old man have been some horrible criminal mastermind? I can't believe it. And a curse bearer on top of that. To think he was so close to us this whole time. Ugh, gives me the chills. A guy like that really shouldn't have been allowed to work at a high school. Let's hope it isn't already too late. Oh! I may have shown Ashimiya my curse stone last night. What? I don't like this one bit. Nejima did say he wasn't specifically targeting curse bearers, but I'm glad nothing happened to you. Wait, but then, could it have been old man Ashimiya who attacked you in the hallway? Ah, I almost told him you were still in the building, too. In fact, the time I did tell him you were still in the building, you died with 2 missing limbs.
Damn.
What? You did? Yikes, good thing I didn't say anything. Might have gotten very lucky there, kid. Or it might have been a bad ending that the game didn't let you take. This is too much. I hope they find him soon. Come on, long arm of the law, help us. About the mastermind behind the Feast of Shadows. To put a stop to the Feast of Shadows, it would help if I knew more about how the curses of these 7 mysteries first came about. In that case, you're better off, probably best off talking to that crabby researcher guy. You mean Mr. Araishi? I would very much like to talk to him. Right, he's a teacher here too, isn't he? You would know him already. He might be more inclined to talk if it's one of his students doing the asking. Do you know where he is? I do. We tried to talk to him, but he refused to cooperate.
You think he'd really be more amenable to talking to a student, though?
Probably not. He's at his usual cafe working on his papers. Cafe? Or Kurakikyo Cafe in Kamezawa? Thanks, we'll head over there now. School rules say we're not allowed to go to cafes, though. Don't worry about it, I'll allow it. Thank you. Huh, that's all it takes? Yeah, you're good. Fuck it, I don't care. There must be a mastermind behind everything, someone who orchestrated all this for a reason. I want to find out why. About Hitomi Okuda. Hitomi did say that Mr. Yoshimi entrusted her with something. He did? What was it? Yoshimi gave her a talisman? Yes, apparently he also asked her to look for another one just like it, one that Michio had. What kind of talisman could they be? Boss? Doesn't ring a bell. But if Yoshimi was talking about him with his dying breath, they must have been pretty important. Did they find a talisman on Michio where her body was found? I'll check, but if they did, Yoshimi would have had plenty of time to retrieve it before he died. Right. Would you consider giving us Hitomi's contact information? I'd like to talk to her about this talisman. I'm not sure. She never opened up to anyone except Mr. Yoshimi. I'm no good, huh? I was friends with Yoshimi, though. You don't seem like too bad of a guy. Not all that scary for a cop. But I doubt it'll be enough for her. She really doesn't want to end up becoming a suspect. To be honest, she was even a bit wary of us. Well then. Do you think she'll talk to Yoshimi's fiancé? Haven't they met before? Oh, they have. She told us about that. Yes, she might be willing to talk to her. Alright, then we better find her fast. You haven't been able to reach her? That's a little worrying. About Hitomi Okuda. Mayu Chozawa. We'll let you know as soon as we manage to contact her. Okay, I'd be willing to give Hitomi's contact information to her. Oh, right, one more thing. Hitomi told me that Mr. Yoshimi gave her instructions in the event something happened to him. He told her to give the talisman to Mr. Nakagoshi from the police headquarters. What? So it was a Nakagoshi case? Why would Yoshimi tell her that? Could you check on that? I will, but, well, I don't know if they'll pick up when I call. Is he with Paranormal Affairs Bureau? Well, yes, Nakagoshi's the chief, but he's almost never in, so I don't really know the guy. To be honest, I'm not even sure if he exists or if he's just a figurehead. I've never spoken to him myself. They mentioned in one of the previous things that they usually talk to him through a Nue that shows up in the office. All of Paranormal Affairs cases are referred to as Nakagoshi cases. Jeez, what's up with that? Alright. That amulet Hitomi was looking for may be the missing puzzle piece to this mystery. Alright. What do you got? What was that thing you mentioned about Michio earlier? Something about a grudge? Do you know anything about her? What's your relation? I'm her friend. I was actually planning to resurrect her at first. Ah, I see. We gained quite a lot of information from you two. It's only fair that we share as well. Tell her, Ario. Alright. Keep in mind that this is just a theory, though. Okay? After re-examining the crime scene, Yoshimi concluded that Michio's death wasn't a suicide, but a vehicular collision. Wait, what? An accident? Being hit by a speeding truck or van would have resulted in similar injuries. The investigation was ordered by Yoshimi, so it seems he had doubts about it being a suicide. What? A van? Speeding? Does she remember something? Flashback? Yako, what's wrong? Are you okay? Ah!
Drop!
Whoa. A van. There's a
died.
young man in the driver's seat. In the passenger seat, a woman? Yako. What was that? Huh? Yes. Wait, was I? Are you back now? How do you feel? You're covered in sweat. Yeah, I'm okay, I think. Sorry, I went a little crazy there. It's no problem as long as you're okay. That was quite a surprise, though. Fuck was that? Yoshimi talked to you about Michio, didn't he? Well, he didn't give me any specifics if you're wondering about that. So I don't know what was truly on in Michio's mind either. Right. Do you have any idea why Janochi was so scared of Michio? Well, about that, I'm not sure exactly how to put this, but talking, abuse. I see. Well, I half expected it was something like that. Thank you for telling me. Sorry, it's hard to explain. Wonder what he got his hands on to be able to blackmail her like that. Michio, what happened? Surroundings. Forensics is still investigating the area. I didn't really want to bring these kids to a place like this, but there were too many onlookers outside for us to speak comfortably. Besides, it would be good to have Mio look around the scene, too. Oh, can I actually look at the crime scene? What's all that rope about? It indicates where Janochi's body was found. They've moved his body, but this way we still have an idea of how it was found. Yeah, exactly. Yikes, that's a little
Yeah.
gross.
That's a little
gross. You can even see
Mop
how his
it up.
arms and legs are all, ugh. Cool it, Aereo, you're scaring her. This kind of stuff is too much for a little much for a kid. Hey, I'm pretty sure she only asked because you were staring at it so intently. Alright, that's enough, Mio. What do you think? I knew it the second I looked at the scene. You're right, traces of a curse still linger here. I figured as much. Does that mean Jinochi was killed by one of the curses of the 7 mysteries? Yes, a strong curse like that always leaves behind a trace. Wow, Mio, you're so calm. Are you used to this kind of thing? I wouldn't say I'm used to it. It just comes with experience, I guess. No, I've heard some stories about you. Didn't you investigate a gruesome scene where someone had been killed by a paranormal attack without even breaking a sweat? Stop it, Mr. Tsutsumi. She's going to get the wrong idea. Whoa, that's amazing. Mio, you're a professional. You think? Totally, you're cool even in the face of death. That's awesome. When you put it like that, I'm not sure how awesome it is. Hey, Aereo, Forensics is calling. I'll go see what they have to say. Sure, thanks. Boss, they found this on the ground a short distance away from the scene. What is that? A ribbon? Yeah, the kind you use to tie up your hair. What? I've seen that ribbon before.
Uh-oh.
You have? Go on, then. That's the ribbon that Michio always used to wear. What? Doesn't that mean Michio was here? Are you sure? This pose is so funny.
He's really, like, spy crap.
He's losing his mind. Definitely, I have the same one at home. We bought them together. That has to be hers. Then did she come back to life somehow? But how? Alright, I've done all the talking I think I can do. Oh. Certainly well versed in the paranormal. I just can't get over the darkness. So this is Yako Sakazaki. She was with Mio. Could she be a friend? Did Mio finally make a friend? If she did, it would do this old man's heart good. But I better not say that out loud. Don't want to make her look bad. Okay, alright, is there any chickens around here? I don't see any. No birds. Sad. I wanted birds. Alright. Oh, you're not done talking yet? If it was Michio and I came back to life, where would I go? That's the question. She got her revenge on Jinochi, but she may have more revenge to dish out. Is there anyone else she'd have a grudge against? Well, what about the guy who killed her in the collision? If she really did come back to life, then it's terribly sad that she's spending her new chance at life like this. Being obsessed with revenge is such a tragic way to live. I'm afraid that's all we can tell you. Don't worry, you were a big help. Thank you. We should start our search for Nejima and Mayu Chozawa. It might be worth it to check Michio's house as well, just in case. Let's use the school as our base of operations. If anything happens, go to one of the officers hanging around here. Got it. Thank you, and good luck. We'll go talk to Mr. Ariishi about a way to lift this curse. Alright, boss, let's get going whenever you're ready. Leave the curse lifting to the girls while we go looking for Nejima and Chozawa. There's also the matter of Yoshimi's talisman. But we won't get anything done staying here. We better get a move on. More stuff. Oh, I see. We needed both of those to... because that one cleared out that one.
Yeah.
I get it. I was confused. But now I'm not. Dead or alive. And this is where they meet up with her. God, this fucking music, though. Hey, everybody. Ma'am, allow me to introduce one of our country's most elite detectives. Name's June Aereo. I'd hardly call myself elite, but either way, it's nice to meet you. This here is the brilliant Chief Inspector Tsutsumi, and yes, he's just as rough and tumble as he looks. Sometimes I really don't know if you're complimenting or putting me down. So you two are detectives? This is my client, Miss Haruwe Shigiba. Her father's a big deal in the police himself, so remember to mind your manners. A bigwig named Shigiba? Boss, you know of this guy? Shit, I've heard the name, but you know I don't keep track of who's who in the upper echelons. There's no need to worry. I am my own person after all, and my father has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, did you hear that, boss? Looks like you're getting off easy again this time. Don't make it sound like I'm involved in some shady business. It ain't like that. You both seem rather jovial despite being detectives. How rare. All the police officers I've met have always been so dull. Well, you won't find any dull cops here. We'll round up all your criminals with a smile. That's our motto. How lovely. Keep it up. Just hold on a second. This is the first time I'm hearing of that. Well, you're right about them not being your typical detectives. Oh, I'm her now. I guess knowing how to deal with cops is also part of an investigator's job. Not quite. The two of us used to be comrades is all. Comrades? That's right. Richter used to be part of the police force himself. He quit a few years ago to go solo. Is that so? You should give it a try, Ario. There's more freedom in working as a private investigator. Can't say much for the quality of life, though. It's been 2 years, right? I hadn't heard of you since you quit. I didn't think your business would last, but here you are. You sure you don't want to return to the force? We'd take you back with open arms. What, to sit on my ass and watch the birds fly? I'll take a pass. I don't belong in that world. Come on, Richter, we need your talent. The public needs you. Nah, you don't. This is my calling. The police will manage just fine without me. I'll keep on tying up all your loose ends, saving the little birdies you abandoned. Little hostile? I can't believe you were actually part of the police force once. There's a story behind everything, ma'am. I don't regret my time on the force. I wouldn't have the connections I have today without it. Nah, that's it. That's all he's got. Alright, let's look at some people. And also, there must be a bird here somewhere. How are there no birds? Ah, a bird! Damn, there was one here. Lucky. That's number 12, the Royal Kingpin Gwyn. Oh, that's so. Mockingbird number 12 discovered. A young and energetic detective. He seems to have a strong sense of justice. If my son had the chance to grow older, perhaps he would have become an officer just like him. It seems they were acquainted, but also like they haven't talked in a long time. Seems like he's got a lot of experience working the streets. Most of the officers I know are the bureaucratic desk jockey types. The contrast is rather striking. What brings you here, Richter? You on a case? That's right, I'm picking up the police's slack. I trust you remember the kidnapping and murder case from last year. Oh, I remember now. You're that Haruwe Shigima from the kidnapping case. Huh? Did I miss something? Don't be an idiot. It was the case where Minasada Shigima's grandson was kidnapped. Which must have been your son, ma'am. Indeed, the story was suppressed by the news. In the end, it was considered a huge failure on the police department's part. Most of the investigation was conducted in secret. And unfortunately, the department is unwilling to reopen the case. Any investigation carried out afterwards turned up nothing at all, which is why I'm now on the job. So they never caught the culprit, huh? That's rough. So your findings brought you to this place, then? That's right, an individual connected to the case used to live around here. Used to? That's right, as of last week they're deceased. We'd hoped to talk to the family. No one was home when I checked last time, so we figured we'd try again. Interesting. Sure doesn't look good on the police to be mishandling cases like these. If there really was a culprit, it should be our responsibility to bring them to justice. Well, I do consider the police my people, so you consider the blame to be shared. You've got a stern side as well, I see. Sure doesn't look good on... Okay. By the way, ma'am, this might be sudden, but there's something I'd like to confirm with you. And that is? Do you happen to know anything about the 7 mysteries of Honjo? Sorry, Chief, but that's hardly. With all due respect, investigator, I think my question was addressed to the lady. If you insist. What do you say, ma'am? Can you tell us anything? Can't say I know much.
Silence speaks volumes.
Is that so? Well, I'm sorry for the intrusion. Come to think of it, I heard some things about this area last night. Something about a strange yet conspicuous man dressed in white loitering around. Wait a second. I assume they were talking about you, investigator. Well, I won't argue that I'm strange and conspicuously dressed in white. And as it turns out, I was here last night to conduct my investigation. Did you run into anything strange or out of the ordinary, which is also strange? Out of the ordinary, I guess I did observe a few suspicious characters. You were asking about curses just now. Why would a public servant be interested in the occult? Boss, Richter's a smart man. He can help us if we tell him what we know. Can't promise I'll be of any help to you, but I'm interested in hearing what you got to say. Something has happened in Honjo, isn't there? It must be something big if they got your head office guys on it. Well, I guess it's alright. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Thank you, boss. Listen closely to what we're about to say, Richter. Talking. Huh, so by using curses to commit murders, these people collect soul dregs to perform the rite of resurrection. And these curse stones are somehow connected to the 7 mysteries of Honjo? It's a tough story to swallow, but I don't see a reason to doubt you either. I love how he's pretending like he doesn't know any of it, like he didn't already know all of that.
Well, yeah, that's the point.
We figured the strange occurrences happening around here recently are connected to these curses. To get this situation under control, we've been searching for the curse bearers to confiscate their curse stones. Do you have any information that might help us? It's tough. I never expected curses and other mumbo-jumbo to play into this all. But if we're talking shady characters, there was this middle-aged fellow I saw on South Walrigasua Street. He had an average build. He was anxious, like he was searching for prey. Boss, what do you think? Well, considering the location, it could have been Hideki Araishi. We already got his curse stone. Impressive. You two are working quick. Do you see anything else? Not that I can remember. That's a shame. So we're not him right now. Do you think he knows that we're lying, or does that not work during the day either?
Assuming you can't use it's a side effect of having the curse stones that you know that people are lying, right?
Right.
So assumedly you probably can't use these side effects during the day either, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. If you see any characters who look like they might be carrying a curse stone, it'd be a huge help if you let us know. Absolutely. I'll let you know if I find anything. Victor, perhaps you could lend a hand on our case too? There's a number of people we can't track, and finding missing persons happens to be your specialty, no? I hate to disappoint you, but I'm busy enough with this case. The faith of my clients is what keeps me afloat. I have to prioritize requests by the order in which they come. I see. Well, can't say that's not fair. What do you need a private investigator for anyway? The cops should have plenty of bright folks to throw at the job. True, but this isn't an ordinary case we're dealing with here. Huh? By the way, that reminds me, Richter. Yes? You said the person who used to live here died last week. You wouldn't be referring to Michio Shiraishi by chance? You knew? I thought so. It seems like we're here for the same reason then. Seriously? Michio was involved with curses and magic? Strictly speaking, the curse part isn't our concern. We're looking into Yoshimi's case. Yoshimi? Oh, right, Hajime Yoshimi's. That's right, he died on the job. I'm sure you've heard of it. I heard. It was a most unfortunate loss. So there's a connection between Hajime Yoshimi of the Juvenile Division and Michio. Well, hold on. Let's focus on Michio for a second. You think she had something to do with the kidnapping? Talk about unforeseen developments. Exchanging information should prove mutually beneficial. I'll tell you what I know, but in turn I want the full scoop on your findings concerning Michio. Sure, to tell you the truth. Talking. What? You believe Michio's ghost is the one who killed Mr. Janochi? So he wasn't just mumbling nonsense? I mean, we haven't fully confirmed anything yet, but the testimonies we've heard and the evidence we found point in that direction. Testimony? You mean from those, psychic high schoolers? Well, when you say it like that, it sounds ridiculous.
None of this is admissible in court.
Didn't they also say there was a chance Michio hadn't killed herself? Wait, if that's all true, then... Did you figure something out? Kankichiro Iwai. Huh? Kankichiro Iwai, he'll be the next victim. We have to open the side door to Shiraishi's house. We need to look inside. Hey, what's gotten into you? Boss? I'm sure the landlord would give us the key if we asked. Screw that. You know how long that could take? We can ask for permission later. Richter? Hey, Richter, calm down. We can't just... He's like, ugh. Take that, you shitted door. That's how you do it. Hooah! Ha! Richter, get a hold of yourself. I see you're still the same as always. Everyone, come quick. Look at this. Oh, Lord.
Oh, my.
Ah, Whoa, what's up with this room? Boss, there's a dead body in here.
They're trying to summon
Whoa,
the Black
whoa.
Hand.
Could it be Michio's dad? Nah, he's a stepdad at best, if that. It's gotta be the body of Kankichiro Iwa. There's no doubt about it. This man's a goner. He's gone real messed up. Looks like he's been like this for a while. I'd say it happened last night. Ario, did you find Jinochi's body in the same state? Now that you mention it, it looked as though Kohei Jinochi had died from a number of heavy blows. What are you suggesting, investigator? It was Michio Shiraishi. She's alive. She used the power of curses to get back at the men who ruined her life. That's ridiculous. You're suggesting she actually revived? It's gotta be that. And if she's alive, then... Oh, hey, storyteller. My apologies for interrupting. I know we've just arrived at an interesting plot point. But do you really think a dead girl is going around taking revenge from beyond the grave? Consider this. What if Michio Shiraishi never died? But seeing as you've come this far, I'm sure you already know the truth, don't you? And so I would have you answer me a question. Where in Honjo was Michio Shiraishi at the hour of 8 o'clock this morning?
Graveyard.
Let me
Dead.
check something. So, remember how the only thing that like strikes me is, remember at the beginning of the day when Yako was kind of just spacing out?
Yeah.
What is her thing again? Hers is the Fool's Procession, right? What does it do? Music would fade. Fool's Procession. Kills by fatal fall one who hears its music for 30 seconds without seeing the curse bearer. Calls by a fall? And since she joined the troop, she had yet to enjoy her day in the spotlight. I don't care about them. He used the chance to make something of herself. She wore a beautiful kimono. Her face was glued to the mask. She fell from the tower, writhed in pain as she begged those around her for help. The music stopped in time with Omio's heart. So I don't know if that's it necessarily. The only thing that strikes me as weird, though, is that the kills by fall. And where was Yako? She went straight home, I think. Well, we can eliminate some stuff that seems irrelevant. Mounty Bridge. Where was she at 8 o'clock this morning? 8 o'clock this morning would have been... She might have been at the candy shop? Or... Yako... No. Okay, so she remembered... Yako had that vision, too. About... the... like, car accident. And she remembered seeing them. So maybe Yako is her, and she doesn't know it, or something?
Maybe because of the whole spirit board thing.
Right. Maybe. Well, let's check on it. Maybe? This? I see very well. Congratulations, you are correct. Alright, I'm on the right track. As expected, you got it in one go. Well, the cause of death was such, was it not? You must have noticed some time ago. Let's get back to the story then, shall we? I've taken up enough of your time. Right. So maybe it was Yako that actually died in that? What? So you think Michio Shiraishi's alive? Just think it through and it all becomes obvious. It tracks, but... You really think that girl could have managed all of this? First of all, Ario, go report this to HQ. Understood, I'll get on it right away. Jesus Croesus in here. I'll start investigating this place. It sure isn't lacking in stuff that needs a looking at. There's a bunch of photos of the same person pasted on the wall over there. Huh? Whoa now, hold on, these photos. These are all of Fumichika Nejima. Gross. Really? Come to think of it, he was in the papers a lot back in the day. Oh, there's even more posted up over here. These are all cutouts from newspapers and magazines about the Nejima murders. I don't get it. Why the weirdo shrine? Let's keep looking around. So, it must be... I don't know if it's her and Yako's the one that died or something and they replaced her, but then why would Yako be... pretending not to know unless the car crash caused her amnesia or something? Or like partial amnesia? I don't know. The game will tell me. Decorations. There's candles and stones with inscriptions placed all over. Are these tools for some ritual? Hey, don't touch anything, you hear? Ah, that's right. Considering this is a murder scene, we ought to leave everything as it is. All of this can be used as evidence. If anyone besides forensics toys with it, it'll cause trouble down the road. It's off-putting to look at, but I can't help but wonder what in the world this is. They're magic runes. They're used in Western black magic rituals. Most of the time, they're useless imitations, though. Wouldn't get too excited about it. Oh my, who knew the Chief Inspector was such an expert on the occult? I just chanced upon that information. That girl with the spirit sense we mentioned, she's pretty informed on the subject. Someone was attempting to perform Western black magic in this place. Pretty absurd, if you ask me. Of course, the person in question was dead serious about it all. Corpse. There's nothing around to confirm his identity, but by the looks of him, I'd say he's Konkichiro Iwai. You've seen him before? I heard he had a criminal record, so I assumed he wouldn't have held a respectable occupation. Is this what a curse does to a person? Ma'am, it'd be better not to look so closely. It's amazing. Troubling. A troubling thing you've said. This drawer was really old. Chief Inspector, do you mind if I look inside? Huh? I mean, in normal cases, only the police would be touching things, right? Right, Ario isn't here, so let me take a look at it. There's just clothes in here, not much variety either. Can't say they were big spenders. Well, I was hoping to find a kind of talisman here, but I guess we're not so lucky. I see. Thank you anyway. With the window and storm shutter closed, no light gets in here at all. It's pitch black. The neighbors mentioned they started to keep the house shut like this not long ago. It's the same man in every picture. Is that Fumachika Nejima? Wow, this is quite the spectacle. I don't think I'll ever manage to erase this from my mind. Don't worry, Richter. You're quite the spectacle yourself. Do you mean to compare me with the likes of a bizarre criminal? These aren't just cut from publications. They even snapped a number of shots of their own. Must have admired him. Why else would they have collected so many pictures? Whatever the case, it's certain they were obsessed. It looks like these things spread around here have been like this for a while now. This ritual or whatever was something he attempted up to recently. Plenty of neighbors mentioned having heard strange mantra-like noises coming from here during the night. You think it was Iwai doing the chanting? Hard to say. Could have been one of the Shiraishis as well. If we look through these books in the back, we might learn whatever it is they were trying to do. Old books. There are old books scattered everywhere. I wonder what they're about. Many of them are written in a foreign language. It'll be a pain to look through all of these. Let's save them for later and continue to look around. It'll be a pain. Sliding door. The sliding door leads to the kitchen. It barely fits the frame. Look at these, pictures of Fumachika Nejima cut out from newspapers and magazines. Whoever put these up was obsessed. I wonder what their intent was. You think the Shiraichis are somehow connected to Nejima's case? Perhaps they did this as to not forget a grudge or something. It's crazy to think Nejima might have been involved in all this too. Do you think he might have anything to do with the body here? Maybe. The man's already out on parole. He's a curse bearer with a curse stone now. He announced that from sundown today he'll be going on a killing spree. Oh dear. There's an emergency search underway as we speak, but no one's managed to get a hold of the bastard. So he hasn't changed his ways. That doesn't bode well. To tell you the truth, the lady here isn't completely unconnected from the Nejima murders either. You don't say. That's right, we talked about it last night. 20 years ago, I found the hand in Samita River that brought the incident to light. You don't say. You were the kid from back then? You were really brave. You did a great deed. Were you the detective I spoke with? I had no idea. So you two have met before. Fancy that. I've been worried that Fumachika Nejima might bear resentment towards you, ma'am. You might be right. Unfortunately, that asshole is quite the resentful type. Oh dear. This asshole. I wonder who put the idea in his head, and now he's got the one-sided read, too. He's threatening to massacre the people of Honjo at sundown. Seriously? On top of that, he's been itching to get revenge on me as well. Of all things, the man's gone and threatened to kill my daughter. Damn, that's quite the threat. Certainly you can't afford to stay put here. The fucker wants to get us all antsy. When I finally get to arresting him, it'll be with a cool head. Not gonna give him the pleasure, huh? Well, if Iwa and Fumachika Nejima have anything to do with each other, then this room might hold a clue to Nejima's location. Let's hope so. The person who put all these photos up must have been obsessed. They might have had some relation to Nejima's victims, or perhaps it was the opposite. The opposite? What if it wasn't loathing, but admiration? But then... Yeah. Nope, already did that. What have I not clicked on? The old book still. What do you say, Chief? Would you let me get a look through it if I wore gloves? No, it's not like I'm any help with foreign languages. Go ahead. Thank you. This seems to be a book on Western black magic. The same runes are written here alongside detailed descriptions of the procedures. I suppose you'd call these grimoires. It's all a bunch of nonsense if you ask me, though. You think this EY guy was studying them, perhaps to perform some kind of ritual? A bunch of handwritten notes beside the grimoires. Whoever it was, they were serious about this. EY doesn't look the type to be into this stuff, but you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Why would he be studying black magic? According to the materials, this here rune is for the restoration of youth. Perhaps he wants to trying to become young again. This over here seems to be black magic related to resurrection. Each one of these spells requires a human sacrifice. Talk about dangerous. Resurrection? Like the rite? I guess no matter what part of the world, people will turn to the occult for similar reasons. What is it? Looks like a journal. It was probably EY's. A journal? Journal, huh? His writing is surprisingly thorough. It's almost as if he was writing a report for someone. Oh wow, now this is something. What is it? What did he write? This is quite the find. Let me give you a summary. So this Konkichiro Iwa fellow, he'd been searching for a spell to restore youth for years. So he was into black magic from the start? He believed if he could learn to successfully perform the spell, then he could use it to earn a fortune. To tell you the truth, he was already getting funded after he acquired this grimoire. You don't say. This is starting to sound kind of familiar. But first, let's find our way to how he got his hands on this grimoire. It seems that Nejima told him where he could obtain the book when they were both in prison. What? That's nearly too much of a coincidence. Likely not coincidence, it seems like Iwa took an interest in the Nejima murders after it made the news. He admired him rather passionately. You might even say he worshipped the man. Worship? Nejima of all people? This was a time when students were itching to rebel. Anyone who did something to shake the world was bound to gather admirers. Iwa had been collecting these photos ever since this time. And since he just so happened to land in prison at the same time as Nejima, he made sure to get in contact. This is a lot. I mean, even having it all laid out like this. The thought of Nejima being involved with these grimoires is staggering. I don't think we ever had anything pointing to that. What's the connection? To be honest, it is a shock to me, too. For years, we've been scratching our heads over the motives behind the Nejima murders. Yep, it's been a mystery to us all from the very start. Whoa now, wait just 1 minute. Do you think... No way, are you saying... That's right, the murders might have been for a ritual. He was attempting to perform black magic. The instructions written down for the sacrificial offering match up exactly with the acts carried out by Nejima. You've got to be kidding me. So that sadistic crap he was doing was all for black magic? That's what the evidence suggests. However, Nejima tried to do some sort of resurrection ritual, but Iwa had different motives. Chief Inspector, you might think this is all just the stuff of fantasy, but that doesn't refute that Nejima and Iwa were both acting in earnest. This is batshit insane! You're telling me that nutjob did all this for some hokey-pokey resurrection? Shit, resurrection! That means there must have been someone Nejima wanted to bring back to life. Damn, that's it! That has to be it! Fucking hell, it all makes sense now! What is it? So about the Nejima murders. There's some information that's been kept from the public. Go on. When we broke into his house and arrested him, we also found a baby. A baby? It was a girl, looked to be about 6 months old, but she was covered in filth. She looked so weak and sickly. We called the medics right away. If we were a second later, I'm sure the girl would have died. So was Nejima the father? He told us he'd found her under a bridge. He found her? She was abandoned? I've heard of parents threatening to leave their child under a bridge as a threat, but to think that really happens. Ah, I suppose those are the cases with the dead newborns found stuffed in coin lockers, so it's not without precedent.
Just like in Yakuza.
Just like in Yakuza. Whatever the case, we never found the truth. But there's one rumor from back then that I could never get out of my mind. And it's starting to sound more likely now? Well, I'm sure this isn't the first time you've heard of it. Many believe Nejima's guilty of more crimes than what got him convicted. Back then, a lot of girls went missing. Yeah, I remember all of that. Among the high school girls that might have been murdered, or maybe I should say sacrificed, was a girl who was pregnant. Goodness. That's horrific. He killed her and dismembered her body. And we thought maybe the baby we found is what he pulled out from inside of her. Don't misunderstand me. This is all speculation on top of more speculation here. But I, for one, never believed that a man would just take in a baby he found under a bridge. I'm feeling sick. Stay strong, ma'am. I know this is hard to hear. Like I said, don't take that to be the full truth. We were running on speculation back then. Now that this whole resurrection magic has come into play, we should consider the possibility it was his child, and that maybe he was trying to revive whoever the mother might have been. It's just a theory, but my life would be a tad easier if it were true. That's an interesting thought. If there's anyone Nejima would want to resurrect, a deceased wife is as good a guess as any. The fact that he obtained a curse stone suggests he has an interest in the rite of resurrection. Damn, you're right. And here I was thinking that he was only after the curse's power to massacre. Chief Inspector? Yeah. What happened to the child? Without a birth registration on file, best we could do is find the girl some suitable foster parents. It was decided to keep the circumstances secret for the sake of the child's future. Well, I'm glad she was taken care of. Who do you think it was?
It's one of the girls at the school.
Yeah.
It's Mio.
Yeah, it could be Mio. That would make sense, I think.
Yeah.
Don't mean to derail the conversation, but there's still more written in Iwa's journal. We know Iwa had managed to obtain the grimoire thanks to the advice he got from his idol Nejima while in prison. After conducting research and gathering more information, he determined he had a chance to get rich quick. Right, he thought he could make some money off it if he could successfully use rejuvenation magic. Correct, turns out someone gave him the idea. And get this. It was one and only queen and the chairwoman of Hihaku Supes herself, Natsuo Yamamori. I thought it might be. Wait, the chairwoman of Hihaku Supes? So that's where this leads. Here, let me read what he wrote. The queen of Hihaku has a strange fear of growing old. Her fear of death is even worse. If she does die, she wishes to be revived, and she will spend whatever it takes to preserve her beauty. Magic, rituals, and rites, she'll use whatever means necessary. Her tenacity is unbelievable. She was apparently investing money into any research on resurrection, the restoration of youth, and the like. So she would even throw her money at the occult. The places greed will take you. Well then, that brings us to Hideki Araishi. She presumably funded his research into the rite of resurrection as well. That's what it all points towards. I wouldn't be surprised if the Witch of Hihaku pounced at the rumors of the rite of resurrection. It's starting to sound likely. Might also be why she's spreading the rumor about having godly powers. It's a convenient cover for if she becomes young again. Godly powers? What's that all about? I got those voices backwards. You can ignore that. Either way, I think Iwa took the payments he was getting for his research to seduce a family into taking him in and to keep a low profile. The Shiraichi family, Michio and her mother, Toshiko, were just his unlucky marks. And this is where you get involved. Are you feeling steady, ma'am? Huh? This has something to do with me? Are you saying that... No, you can't mean... You realize then. Perhaps... Michiro Shiraishi's... No, hold on. Back. Kankichiro Iwai's living sacrifice was a child. Kankichiro Iwai's living sacrifice was a child. That's exactly it. Iwa moved in with the Shiraichis to practice his magic. He needed a sacrifice to perform his youth restoration spell, but that meant extracting the life force from someone young. Oh no, of course, that awful man. So it was Iwai, this man. Iwai worshipped Nejima, so he also must have despised Nejima's detractors. Not to mention he was captured and sent to jail once before. Surely he had a bone to pick with the police. So when he realized he had the chance to both avenge Nejima, embarrass the police, and acquire a living sacrifice at the same time. Fuck. You got it. Iwai kidnapped Haruwe Shikima's son and managed to score 3 birds with 1 stone. You're telling me then that horrid man, he never had the intention of returning my child. I thought there might have been a reason why the kidnapper seemed to be mocking the police. He never wanted money. His true aim was to humiliate the force. It all makes sense. He must have used Michio to lower your boy's defenses, then kidnapped him on his way back home. And man, he took Shuichi.
Oh boy,
Yeah,
we're getting
she's-
some real Ace Attorney Danganronpa breakdown phase happening.
Man, please calm down. I understand, but you must remember to breathe. You don't understand. You have absolutely no idea what I'm going through. This isn't a joke. I wouldn't expect the police to understand. You'll never understand. Living sacrifices. What a stupid, stupid idea from a stupid little man. Okay, man, let's just take a moment to breathe. Why don't we go get some fresh air? Can't believe this. This is... Chief, I think it's best we take our leave. But before we go, there's one more important piece of information noted in his journal. Oh? Iwa got in contact with Nejima last year after Nejima was released on parole. He provided him with an accommodation and some financial support. That's so. He managed to find a hideout for Nejima to stay in. Damn it. If anything, rather than use his money to support the Shiraichis, it seems most went to Nejima instead. If Nejima's lurking around anywhere at the moment, it's probably in that hideout. Did he write where it is? Unfortunately, no, now that I can tell. But it seems Michio knew where it was. She never met with Nejima in person, but she was made to go in and clean up, among other things. What good is that information? The girl's already dead. Wait, no, she's alive! That's right, Michio Shiraishi is alive. If you can find her and get her to talk, you can get her to spill the beans on his hideout, too. Investigator, I'm asking you. I should be going. The lady's not well. End of scene? I assume? Nope, okay. We keep going. You feeling better now that we've gotten some fresh air, ma'am? I'm fine. Suddenly finding out who the kidnapper was really made me lose my wits. Managed to solve the kidnapping case by pure luck here. You're right, but Richter, I feel grateful towards Michio. Because she killed the kidnapper? There's that too. But it's for something else. If Michio is the one killing all these people, then she must have acquired quite a sizable amount by now. Soul dregs, I mean. Hey, Richter? Whether the kidnapper's dead or alive, it doesn't mean a thing. Revenge won't bring my boy back. And if Nejima's planning to cause a massacre to collect soul dregs, then all the better. I won't give up on resurrection. So I'm counting on you. Huh.
What a way to end.
How incredibly troubling all of that was. So, what are these? Too much to handle, standing by, and say, man. Well, that's getting exciting. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back next week for Monday and Tuesday, and that'll probably be it. Because I am moving next week. So...
I'm not, though.
I'm leaving. Divorce court is real. No.
Thanks for the room, dummy.
Alright, have a good night, everyone. We'll catch you next week. Bye. Ooh.